how do we switch and then focus on gratitude? Like, because that's not easy.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
not
no,
easy.
no, it's never easy. And yes, the gratitude interrupts that spiral,
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
Katie was talking about. It interrupts the spiral because our brains are wired to look for danger. Our brains are always looking out for something that's danger, and that our our despair is that danger.
Mm.
And so, and then too, added the anxiety heavy culture that we live in, it keeps our mind on what's wrong. Is this
Yeah.
answering your question too?
Yeah. No,
Okay,
it's
good. Sometimes I think I might be just going off and but that anxiety keeps us, or that our brain keeps us thinking what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. And then you add social media, and then you add the 24-hour news that
I know.
you know, keeps us on alert all the time. And it turns our nervous system into fight or flight. So we need something to interrupt that fight or flight. I'm going to jump to a verse because I love this verse. And I think I want to say it before I forget it. But Philippians 4:6-7 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God will guard your hearts and your mind." And
Mm.
Paul doesn't say here, don't be anxious just because your life is fine, right?
Yeah.
He's not saying that, but he gives us a practice. He gives us a tool here to interrupt that spiral.
Mm.
He says, pray, ask, and be thankful. Be grateful. And that combination becomes like a protection that we have. And so gratitude isn't the cutesy thing here. It's part of what guards our mind. It's part of what interrupts that cycle when we're all spiraled up, and, our cortisol and all of those things you mentioned, Katie, are going up and down and sideways.
I think that it's really interesting to remember, because do you ever feel like "do not be anxious about anything" can sometimes be used as a shame verse? And I feel like when like in new light, when I read this verse, I see it almost as like you're saying, Mom, like the tools to remind yourself that like God's got your back, and that you're gonna be okay even when everything is not okay. And also like that piece of like with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, like even if you can't find anything to be thankful for on earth, I think you can be thankful in your access to God and thankful for your breath. And I don't know. Sometimes I have like a love-hate relationship with this verse because I'd be like, well, I don't know how to not be anxious. I would get so hung up in verse 6 that I would miss verse 7 because I was so like ashamed of like, I am anxious though,
Right.
Yeah, but if we're using that verse as a
Mhm.
weapon, absolutely we get hung up. But
Yeah.
it's not.
It's
It's our
not, it's like
formula.
yeah,
It's like a formula that God's given us.
mhm. I had a friend, within the past year tell me about this experience where she's going through something, like, pretty horrific, and somebody came and was like, um asked her how she was doing, and she was kind of honest, like, "I'm not doing well." And they were like, "Oh, well, because Philippians 4:4, we jump to verse 6, but Philippians 4:4 is, rejoice in the Lord always. And this person quoted this at her and was like, well, rejoice in the Lord, rejoice in the Lord, like be grateful, be thankful. And it like was so toxic, that like toxic positivity, as me and her have kind of like processed that. The verse doesn't say like be grateful for all the crap you're going through. Like
Right.
it says rejoice, or like be grateful in the Lord always. Like he is what we can rejoice in and be grateful for, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. And I think when we center ourselves on him, like of course we will then find other things that he is blessing us with and protecting us.
Your support means so much. Like, comment, share, and subscribe so we can keep growing this community together.